The following is a world-class Bullshitters exclusive.
Netflix is desperate, or they may be coming to their senses. The official WCBS Secret Squirrel has just informed me that Netflix is now allowing you to skip the political portion of the content they produce. You may think that sounds impossible, but here's proof. Now clearly this image has the piracy protection on it, but you can still see the overlay button that reads Skip Politics. This comes from the Seth Meyers stand-up special, Lobby Baby. I have no opinion of Seth Meyers, he's in that gray area. I know who you are, I know what you do, I don't like you, but I don't dislike you either. Now obviously a lot of mainstream comedy leans one way, so this is nothing new in terms of stand-up content, but the fact that you can skip what Netflix may consider too risky is stupid. It's comedy, it's meant to make you laugh, make you think, it may give you a perspective on the other side, it may validate your beliefs, it may make you happy, and Netflix is taking it away from you. Now who are they to judge? Clearly their content leans one way. You get over 5 million results when you Google search Netflix political agenda, with sources from all over the political spectrum, as well as the world, and the general consensus is that it's a problem. There are studies conducted, think pieces from independent media, articles from biased sources, though conveniently nothing pops up of the equally terrible opposite side. It would be ignorant, at the very least, to say this is a non-existent problem, but Netflix is definitely feeling the noose tighten around its neck. Hollywood in Toto has a great piece that sheds some light on why Netflix may have introduced that skip politics button. The streaming giant could crumble thanks to serious competition and a woke overload. Netflix and chill? Try pass the turns. The streaming giant shed some bad news today, the kind that in different times could have been dismissed as a bump in the road. These aren't those times, and some of the company's own actions may be making the problem worse. First, the raw numbers. Shares of Netflix were down 11% after the company released its earnings report for its second quarter of 2019 Wednesday. The company reported a global net adds of 2.7 million, well below guidance of 5 million. The company blamed its quarter 2 content slate for the subscriber miss. Let the spin begin. More importantly, here are some more cold hard facts. Netflix is about to be challenged by one of, if not in a gaggle of serious streaming competitors, and this headline says it all. Amazon, Apple, Criterion, Discovery, Disney, and Warner Media all have new services. Disney Plus should be Netflix's biggest worry. The house that Mickey built owns some of the most beloved content in all of pop culture, some of which will be leaving Netflix soon to join the mothership, MCU, Pixar, and Star Wars. Those 3 brands alone and their various spin-offs could be enough to change some of the consumers' minds. We're reaching another point where Americans will have to pick 2 or 3 streaming services to replace or enhance their cable options. Does that mean Netflix will always make the cut? What about existing giants like Hulu and Amazon Prime? That doesn't even count CBS All Access, HBO Go, Acorn TV, and other niche services. Something's gotta give. The media keeps reminding us beloved shows like The Office will soon be leaving Netflix too. That won't help matters, but the aforementioned elements will hurt Netflix more. And then there's the X factor, or shall we say, the P factor for progressive. Conservative consumers are starved for a neutral platform. They shrug their shoulders as channels like Showtime, HBO, Comedy Central, and others embrace progressive programming while ignoring, if not insulting, Red State America. Netflix, despite a crush of left-leaning content, soared past ideological labels for most of its existence. That's no longer the case. The company named former Obama advisor Susan Rice to its board of directors. Former President Barack Obama signed a massive deal to create new content for Netflix. The company threatened to pull productions like Ozark out of Georgia to protest the state's new abortion laws. Netflix brass brushed off concerns that 13 Reasons Why inspired real-life suicides, until it didn't. The streaming company still lacks a go-to conservative show. Meanwhile, even more leftist programming like the Patriot Act, to Ava DuVernay's When They See Us and Knock Down the House flood the service. There's some hope for Netflix despite the headwinds coming the company's way. The streaming service offers a smart, streamlined menu. Existing customers know what to expect from it and where to find new and older titles. That comfort level is easily overlooked. It shouldn't be. Will the new streaming services be as easy to use, as intuitive? Netflix also shrewdly developed a reputation for its top-flight originals. Sure, some of the feature films have been awful, or overhyped, but still the company is one of the top destinations for cutting-edge shows that keep water coolers buzzing. That matters. So too does the company's place in pop culture. Yes, we've already alluded to Netflix and chill. Consumers love the service's affordability. It's also the way many originally connected to our new digital age of content. That emotional connection is significant. It's also easily discarded under the right circumstances. It's possible Netflix's reign atop the streaming world couldn't last much longer, given the stiff competition coming. The company still had a serious leg up on all the newcomers. Massive brand recognition, a genuinely strong product, diminished but sizable public goodwill. Will it be enough, or will the company's executive look back to the company's veer to the left and wonder if that didn't hasten its decline? Netflix knows that its time is up as king of the stream. It's like back in the day when you used the phrase playing Nintendo as a coverall for video games in general. Once you had Sega and PlayStation become household names, you said playing video games instead. For Netflix, the competitors are too great to ignore, plus companies are pulling their licensed content away from Netflix to build their own services. This is why Netflix cannot alienate their pre-existing audience. Netflix knows that money spends no matter who it comes from, so that's why they introduced this button. They want to appease everyone. Don't like what Seth Meyers said about the president? Here's a button to skip it. But is that a good thing? Netflix is trying to play both sides like Mac, but it doesn't make them completely innocent of the content on their platform. Maybe they're trying to avoid another Chappelle situation where the show becomes the hot thing to talk about. Chappelle had some things to say about everyone and people didn't like it. It was the hottest thing for a month and fans ate it up. Biased media outlets also tried to tear it down. It exposed their bias, and that's always a win for us consumers. Another reason why they could be implementing this button is next year's election. It's going to be insane next year. Digital platforms are doing the best to shut people down. People attack each other.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Thanks, Peter.
It's Dr. Venkman.
Sorry, Dr. Venkman. Have you seen this button before? If so, what did you think? Also, where will this end? Will we see a skip nudity button? A skip violence button? How about a skip Adam Sandler button? His early stuff was great, but the cobbler? Come on. How sensitive is society that we can't be exposed to things that make us uncomfortable? Have we become the jokes that we make online? This is art, and it's supposed to evoke an emotion, good or bad. At the end of the day, this is Netflix attempting to cover its ass. It's a bold move, so we'll have to see how it plays out. But my advice to them would be, just put out better stuff. So that's it for today, folks. What did you think about this news? The skip politics button on Netflix. It almost seems surreal to me. As in, I can't believe that this is the climate we live in. Don't like something? Here's a way to digitally skip it. You know, every day we get closer and closer to those realities written about in science fiction. The Cyberpunk 2099 stuff about the ideology war and how everyone had to feel important, and we covered that on an earlier video, so you guys can look that one up. But this dystopian future that we've been reading about for decades and decades might come true, not because of an alien invader or a nuclear war, but because, you know, we got lazy and then fought each other and tore everything down and society just never rebuilt itself. I think that's a much more plausible reason. And maybe in the future, in 200 years, we'll look back and blame Netflix as the reason for the fall of our society. It sounds stupid, but so does a lot of shit you read online. Mostly true. Equally stupid. Folks, thank you for watching. If you like what we do, help support us over on Patreon. $1 a month goes a long way, but $5, which is only 17 cents a day, goes even further. It gives you access to countless hours of digital content, exclusive videos, and all sorts of things like, hey, you can come on the show. If you were a certain tiered patron and you wanted to come on a stream and discuss this button specifically, well, all you got to do is go over there, join, and we'll make a time happen. So thank you to everyone out there who has already joined us, and I have a request. If this is your first video, you're probably thinking to yourself, I already watched your video, dude. What else do you want from me? Well, a thumbs up would be nice, maybe to share it all over social media, but there's one thing I'm going to have to ask you to do no matter what. It's quite simple. I almost expect it from everybody. But hey, it's not hard. What is it? Go out into the world and be excellent to each other.